Hello everyone, I am Christina Jo and I am loving life. I love coming on to this page and doing these videos with you. Thank you so much for joining me and for listening. I really have a lot of fun sharing with you all these different ideas about loving life. Today I want to talk about empowerment and see if I can just share some ideas about empowering you to love the life that you're living. I did a post earlier this week. I'll just I'll just say the post to you. It said, empower yourself, take responsibility for your own happiness and all that is happening in your experience. Empower others. Don't take responsibility for their happiness or for anything that is happening in their experience. I wanted to go into this idea a little bit today just to talk about empowerment and how you can empower yourself and empower others. This is a little bit of a heavy quote. There's some big words in there. There's happiness, there's responsibility, and there's your own, and there's others. Those are big words when you mix those together. And so it can be a big responsibility to own your own happiness, and it can be a big thing to let go of the responsibility of other people's happiness. But two things come to mind here when we talk about this. And the first one is you can't force anybody to do anything. And your happiness really comes from within. So let me talk about forcing first. No one can force you to take responsibility for your happiness and for the things that are going on in your world. And you can't force anyone else. If you're taking responsibility, you can't force other people to take responsibility for their life. Pardon me, I'm just going to turn my sound down here so that doesn't keep happening. So you can't force anyone. And this became very clear to me when our daughter Holly was about 2 years old. And I said something to her and she said, "You can't force me to do anything, Mommy." And I said, "You know, you're right. I could have got mad at her and I could have forced her, but I thought, I don't want her to lose that particular idea. I don't want her to ever feel that anyone can force her into doing something." So I made it my challenge not to ever force her. I do sometimes convince her that it's in her best interests, but it always comes down to it being her choice. And I think that for me was the important part to be able to learn myself, and I learned that by teaching it to Holly. So even if I felt like I was being forced to do something, nobody could force me to do anything. It was always my choice, and that was a very helpful lesson for me to learn. And I've continued it with Holly. She's in her teens now. And we've continued that. So I will tell you, actually, just before I go into that, the second thing I wanted to talk about there was that your happiness comes from within. Now, this is sort of an easy thing to say, but to really understand what that means is that nothing outside of you can make you happy. And nothing outside of you can take your happiness away. Those are a couple more big statements because we have it sort of mixed up here. We think that what's going on outside and around us is causing us to feel the way that we do, when really it's the other way around. Everything that's going on around us is a reflection of what's going on inside. So it's really important to distinguish that and then decide to take responsibility for our own happiness And if we're not feeling happy, take a look inside and what's going on in there. Now, how do we know how we're doing with this? And how do we know if we are taking this responsibility? Really by how we feel. If you are feeling happy and paying attention to how you feel, that is really key to knowing how you're responding to things that are going on in your world. So our emotions are our guide, and if we can pay attention to how we feel and make how we feel more important than what we do, that really is a key in getting this done. So I'm going to give you an example that's just going to hopefully bring all these ideas together for you. So it also involves our daughter Holly. And so there was a time not too long ago where I had asked her to wash the floors for me. It was a household chore and it's not on her regular list. It's an outside one. And I don't really remember why I asked her to do it, but I had asked her and she agreed. Now, some time passed and the floors didn't get washed. And so I asked her about it. Holly, are you going to wash the floors? And she said, oh yeah, I'll get it done. And so I asked they still didn't get done. And so I asked again. And by the time I'm asking for the third time, she can tell I'm getting a little bit annoyed. And she knows that I don't force her. She knows that it has to be her choice. So I'm starting to take a look, okay, why isn't she getting this done? And what is it about me that's going on here that is having her not get the floor washed? And so a perfect opportunity came up, and I realized that she was thinking that by taking care of washing the floors, she was going to somehow make me happy. But she knows she can't make me happy, and generally she feels that the job that she does doesn't make me happy anyways, so she just kind of, just was not taking care of it because it wasn't going to work anyways. It wasn't going to do what she wanted it to do to make me happy anyways. So an opportunity came shortly after that where there was some dishes in the kitchen. And I knew that Holly had a Christmas party planned, a party with her friends the following day, and she was going to cook them a really nice dinner. So I knew that it would really be nice for her to have a clean kitchen to work with when she was doing a dinner party for her friends. And so I had told her, don't you worry about these dishes. I'll make sure that they are done before your party. And she said, oh, thank you, that would be great. And so she didn't ask me, I had offered. But it came time to do the dishes. And I looked at the floors again, and I kind of felt a little bit put out. And I thought, well, why am I going to do these dishes for her when I've been waiting so long for her to wash these floors, and she just doesn't even have it on her mind, even though she's having a party, she's still not even washing the floors. So I'm thinking, geez, why am I even going to do these dishes? So I decided to ask her, and I called her out and I said, I'm learning something here, Holly. I know I can't force you to wash the floors, but if you could just work through this with me a little bit, let me ask you some questions here and see if I can figure out, why I'm feeling off about this. So I said I'm going to do these dishes for you. And I'm just wondering, if I didn't do that, what I said I was going to do, and you came to do your party tomorrow and you saw all these dishes sitting here, how would you feel? How would that make you feel? And what would you do? And she said, well, I probably wouldn't really feel great about it, but I would make do. I would still make dinner for my friends and I would make do. And I said, oh, okay, interesting. And I believed her. I believed that answer in the way that she gave it to me. So I thought, and I asked her, is that what I'm doing then? Am I making do with you not doing the floors? And she said, I don't know. Are you making do or are you getting mad about it? And I said, well, I'm doing a little bit of both. So then I realized that it really wasn't about her doing something for me to feel a certain way or me doing something for her to feel a certain way. So I kind of turned it around a little bit. And I asked myself, how would I feel if I didn't do something that I said I was going to do? How would I feel if I didn't do these dishes when I said I would? And I decided I wouldn't feel very good. I would feel much happier following through on what I said I would do. So I turned to Holly and I said, how do you feel not following through on doing something that you said you would do? And before the words were even out of my mouth, she turned on her heel and went and got the pail and the mop and took care of the floors. Because then it was no longer about how she was making me feel, because she can't make me feel anyway. It was, how is she contributing to how she feels? And when it came to that, it was a different question and a totally different answer for both of us. And it just came very clear. So that is one way that has helped me just love the life that I am living, because I make decisions based on how I feel. If someone asks me to do something, I will let them know that everything in me wants to do this for you, and I would love to do this for you, and I will do it for you, as long as in the doing of it, I can still feel good, because that is what is most important. And if I can't feel good about it, then I know it isn't the right thing to do. So I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate you joining me live for this. And if you're watching the recording, I hope you enjoy. Please feel free to leave your comments, and I will see you next time. Cheers. Bye-bye.